Minutes of the budget work session meeting of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for July 28th, 2022. If there's no comments or questions, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve by member Onstad. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Luger. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? So approved. Number 3, to consider Resolution 22-08-65, a resolution to approve the assessments on parcel 21.11120.00 and 21.11121.00 for the 2008 Wyoming Street Utility Project, 257th Street. Mr. Wecker, Mr. Linwood, or Mr. Lunan?
Mayor, that'll be myself.
Okay.
Mayor, members of council, tonight we're going to be holding a public hearing and discussion of two parcels that were inclusionary in our 2008 street and utility project. Those parcels that as identified by the mayor in the resolution, they are included next to DeVita Dialysis and then also near the Himes Lake Villa sections, the first section and then the north section along with the accent building. Along with that project, there are assessments on these parcels. These parcels have been tax forfeit for quite some time, since approximately 2017, and they have been available for purchase at the sheriff's sale. At the end of May 2022, both of these parcels were purchased with the knowledge that there were outstanding assessments on them. The city of Wyoming still does owe on the bonds that we took out to pay for that utility and that street extension back there. So those were 15-year bonds that were created in 2009. The outstanding assessments on these properties that were approximately on 21.11120.00 were approximately $314,664, and then the sale price was $31,000, leaving an outstanding balance of $283,664.93. The second parcel, 21.11121.00, the original price outstanding assessment amount was $219,919.39. The sale price was $25,000 with the amount to be appointed of $194,919.39. The total combined balance of the two parcels is approximately $478,584.32. This is the process that we use to reassess these parcels if the council is so inclined to move forward with the resolution. The individual that did purchase these parcels has been notified through the 429 process, notified by mail. The city council has called for that public hearing, and it has been published as part of those necessary state statute requirements. So now we're at the point when the council, I can stand for any questions, and the council will just need to open the public hearing if there is anyone that'd like to speak on this matter.
You want questions first from council?
Generally, you do the public hearing first.
Okay. All right, so we need a motion to go into a public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Schilling. We have a second by member Luger. All in favor?
Aye.
We're in an open public hearing. Is there anybody here that would wish to speak on what we just talked about regarding the 2008 Wyoming Street and Utility Project? Anybody going once? Twice? All right, there's not. So we can close that hearing then. All right, we need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion by member Luger. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are out of that public hearing. Questions from council. We'll start with member Yeager.
No questions since I was on council when we did this originally. Stand by it.
Okay. Member Schilling?
I actually agree. We gotta stick with what it's on here, so.
Okay. Member Onstad?
No questions.
Member Luger?
Also no questions.
I just have one question. So when this gets paid, what does that do for the outstanding balance? Does that bond get paid off then?
We will be, if there is a payment of that sum, that nearly $500,000, we will look at the potential of calling that note. I can't say for certain, but we will definitely do the due diligence on that and see if it is a potential that we can close out on that particular bond, as we've received much of the outstanding on that bond, and the city has been paying on that bond every year since 2009. So we will definitely look into that.
All right, great, thank you. So we need a motion to approve, I'm just gonna read the resolution number. We need a motion to approve resolution 22-0806. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve by member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Consent agenda number 4, 5, 6, and 7. Does anybody wish to pull an item on the consent agenda? Hearing no one wanting to pull anything, we need a motion to approve consent agenda 4, 5, 6, and 7.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Moving on to acknowledgement receipts of reports of officers, boards, commissions, and department heads. Number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Is there anybody who wishes to pull a report? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Number 13, to consider resolution 220868, a resolution approving a conditional use permit for increased impervious surface area in the Shoreland District at 5111 East Viking Boulevard, property ID number 21-00020.00. Mr. Weck?
Madam Mayor and council members, 14 Foods LLC is a request of site plan review and a conditional use permit for they're gonna tear down the old Dairy Queen and construct a new one. So there's a PowerPoint. So it's at the current location at 5111 East Viking Boulevard. There used to be a Super America there also. They've torn down the pump island. So if you could go to the next one. Property zone commercial. It's also in the shoreline management overlay for the Sunrise River, which is kind of between it and the freeway. And there's additional drive-through business standards for a drive-through business. I'm sorry. Next. This is their preliminary layout. They have building's approximately 3,100 square feet. It has 68 seats on the interior, 26 seats on the exterior. It has 30 parking spaces, and 2 of those are ADA accessible. This chart goes through all the different zoning requirements. The only one that is an issue is the bottom one, the impervious surface. In the Shoreland District, they're allowed a maximum of 25% unless they have a conditional use permit. That is why they applied for the conditional use permit to be up to 57%. The next slide. This drawing on here is older than the one you received this morning. If you look at the newer drawings, they've done a stone wainscot around the perimeter of the building. So basically up to the bottom of the windows that are there. That's to try to address the class materials. The ephes, which is a stucco-like product that's placed over foam insulation, is what the majority of the building is. And that's a class 3 material. Right now, with the new wainscoting on there, their ephes is at 56%, not the 35%. That's from the calculations that they provided us with the new drawings. Next. They're going to utilize the existing curb cuts. They meet the off-street parking requirements. The entrance is on the east side. There was some talk about doing some curbing, I guess, between it and the auto parts store. I can't think of it all of a sudden. But that had issues for their stormwater, so they removed that to get a better flow of the stormwater. That was one of the comments from the city engineer. Continue. So the city engineer has some comments on the stormwater and grading and drainage. It is in a shoreland district. We've received no comments from the DNR on the conditional use permit application. So I don't have anything else on that one, unless.
Just maybe just one aspect of the impervious coverage requirement is actually less than what exists there today.
Yes.
Okay.
They provided tree plantings. They're screening the structures. There may be some water service connection changes. I guess there is with the new building location. So Planning Commission held a meeting last week. They're recommending approval with the conditions listed in the resolution. Both the site plan resolution and the conditional use permit resolution, both sets of conditions are the same for both resolutions. I'm open for questions, I guess.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just lost my connection here. Let's see. Sorry.
I can't get mine to, mine keeps freezing.
I mean, I'm kinda like, what,
It won't
what, it's,
scroll.
it's, cause it's hot, so. Okay, questions from council? We will start with member Yeager.
How is your drive-through going to work with the double?
Yeah, so if you are familiar with, kind of the Chick-fil-A method, 2 drive-through lanes merging into one, so it allows for more. We good?
It's on, you can maybe
Okay,
adjust it.
sorry.
I've never been to a Chick-fil-A, so.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it allows for.
Whoops. Oh,
Drop the
well.
mic.
We'll try
Sorry.
this.
There you go.
All right, it just allows for a more stack, so since COVID, we've seen, probably 80% of our business kind of move to the drive-through. So just allows for, better flow through the drive-through itself when, people are placing orders. So we have like a pay ahead window. We have 3 windows total, pay ahead and pick up, and then we have a drive ahead window. So if someone is ordering food, compared to, an ice cream treat, it might take a little bit longer. So we have a spot for them to pull ahead, so they're not, holding up the line, so to speak.
And then there'll be adequate signage to tell everybody where to go.
Yep, there's actually just gonna be like a median in between and 2 menu boards, so, no one should be confused. And there's
Okay.
gonna be plenty of striping and arrows and everything like that as well.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah,
Member Schilling?
I really don't have any questions. I'm familiar with the drive-through, and I'm very familiar with your place of business. My kids are definitely quite frequent there, so I think this is pretty nice. I like this. It's exciting.
So no questions?
No questions.
Okay, sounds good.
Not with that.
Okay, member Armstead,
I have no questions.
member Luger.
I have no questions either.
Perfect. I do have one question. Actually, I have 2. Chief Bauer, they did leave some extra room for emergency vehicles. Did you review this to make sure that our emergency vehicles will be able to get through?
I did not.
Fred, we're good with that?
I think the city engineer would look at turn radiuses.
Are we good with that?
Comments was just to provide some turning movements
Yeah.
on the plans, just so we can verify. I mean, we're not gonna get the, ladder truck through the drive-through, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, as far as ambulance and fire,
Okay.
regular type of equipment, we will have a review of that. We've asked for turning movements, and so we'll get that soon. I don't expect any issues, though.
Okay, sounds great. All right, so we need a motion to approve resolution 22-08-68, a resolution approving a conditional use permit for increased impervious surface area in the shoreline district at 5111 East Viking Boulevard, property ID number 21.00020.00. I'll make the first motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 14, to consider resolution 22-08-69, a resolution approving a site plan review application to demolish the existing and construct a new Dairy Queen restaurant at 5111 East Viking Boulevard, property ID number 21.00020.00. Mr. Weck again? We're all good?
Yeah.
We're all good?
Yeah,
Okay,
same-
no more
same-
questions?
Same conditions.
What
same
is,
everything.
and what is the timeline for the demolition and the reconstruction?
Yep, so, as it stands right now, we have had, the gas tanks have been removed from the ground, so they're going through their, the MPCA testing, and, they'll have the reports available here in the next couple of weeks. We just had Nova in for asbestos testing on the gas station portion and the Dairy Queen portion as well. We had one of our maintenance team members out there as well to kind of patch up any holes that they may have caused in the restaurant itself, just to kind of maintain business standards and appearance. So the timeline as it stands now is September 5th will be the last day of business. September 6th, fully closed on the Dairy Queen side. And that week, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, be a removal of equipment, kind of, shutting off city utilities and all that as well. And then September 12th is the date that we'll get going on the demolition aspect of both the gas station building and the Dairy Queen.
And When do you plan to restart building and reopen?
Yeah, so I would say probably the 26th is probably a good time to have digs and footings and concrete poured as well. And a timeline that we have projected right now stands is about 100 days, 110 days for
Okay, thank you.
total ground up construction.
Member Schilling?
No questions.
Member Onstead?
No questions.
Member Luger?
Also no questions.
One question about the patio. How's that gonna look? Just kind of your concrete, or like kind of some of your other buildings that have something over it, or?
Yeah, yep, so this one I don't believe will have a pergola over it, but yeah, just a standard concrete, fenced in patio. I think it has 26, 24 seats outside. And, our hope is to kind of further down the line, kind of create more of that stop-off point for people kind of traveling north and south to rest their legs. So the idea is we might be doing another fenced-in little AstroTurf area for people to kind of let their dogs out. And yeah, that's what we got
A
going.
pergola would be nice.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah.
All right, that's all my questions I have. All right, I will make the motion to approve resolution 22-08-69, a resolution approving the site plan review application. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? So approved. Okay, thank you. Number 15 on the agenda is review draft park and trail master plan. Mr. Linwood, are you starting with that with an introduction?
Mr. Sachs.
Yep,
Mr.
I was
Sec-
taking that,
sorry.
Madam Mayor, Council. Thank you. So we're here tonight. It's been about a 10-month-long process that began with a kickoff meeting to help envision the future of Wyoming parks and trails. There were several public engagement aspects, meeting with the Park Commission, City Council to really pull together this master plan of a guide that the city can use for 10, 20 plus years, reassess every 10 years, and really set the priorities for what the city wants and residents want to see in the parks. So staff worked with WSB to create this master plan. It's included in your packet. I know it's a little lengthy, so hopefully you had a time to take a look at it. This was presented to the Park Advisory Commission just this past Monday. They had positive feedback. They didn't really have any changes. I will note in the draft that you received, page 11 has a blank vision statement. At that Monday meeting, the Park Advisory Commission did create a vision statement, and I'll read that to you briefly just so it's in there for context. So this is the vision statement for the master plan. Wyoming parks and trails provide a broad range of active and passive recreational opportunities for diverse users that are accessible across the community, built upon responsible growth, intrinsic of the valued rural character and natural resources, and strengthen the sense of community through celebrations. So that is the vision statement that the Park Advisory Commission had chosen on Monday night. So we're just seeking tonight for feedback from council, any questions, concerns you have with this draft. This is not the final plan. What staff and WSB plans to do is take back feedback from both the park board and council, make any revisions before final adoption in the coming weeks. And Ms. Amberg from WSB is also present, so I can answer any questions. She is available, and Mr. Almgeld is also available for questions.
Okay, perfect.
you.
Let's start with member Onstad.
I have no questions, but I was just enjoyed reading this, having started on park board, and to see where everything's going, and that, it's continuing since when I was on the board, that it's still moving forward and looks great.
All right, member Luger.
I have no questions. I heard this at the Park Advisory Commission meeting on Monday. I think this was, I think it looks great. I think this was a really valuable investment that gives the city a scope, sequence, and series of priorities for our parks and amenities for the community.
All right, thank you. Member Yeager.
On the page, when you describe the population of Wyoming, is that a typo? Because it says 8309, and the sign that coming into Wyoming today said 8,032, or 8032, yeah.
The state is in charge of updating those. We don't, the state,
Okay.
it's the state when they update those anywhere from 3 to 5 years, so.
Well, that's fine, but
Yep.
the one says 8,300, the
Right.
state says
We don't,
8,000.
we don't ever utilize the signs for anything official, so that's just what the state utilizes for every city government within the
So you're
state.
saying the population of Wyoming is 8,300?
The document would be appropriate, yes.
Cause
Can
those
you
numbers
say-
would have come from the census.
Okay, because when I looked up the census, the 2020 census, it said 8,032.
We receive
And-
updates every year. The
Okay,
State Department
because
are based on how
my-
it's being built.
My question is, between the, in the 2020 census, they had the city of Wyoming growing 3.1%, or, about 241 people, and so now in 2 years, 10 years, we grow less than 300 people, and in 2 years, we grow more than 300?
We can definitely double check those numbers
Yeah.
to make sure they're
It
accurate.
goes through the state demographer, so the state would really be the ones that are in charge of that as far as, we don't have anything to do with the population.
Yeah. And then, what I would like to see in it, in the implementation, when you talk about raising the park fees, I noticed there is a somewhat, I thought it was a convoluted formula to determine what park fees should be, based on population, value, and whatnot. But right now, we have a fairly straightforward 1,500 a lot, 300 a trail. I would like to see as something as straightforward, or if you choose to go with the more convoluted percentages, I would like to see an analysis of numbers of what the developers will be paying. Right now it's straightforward. It's 1,500 a lot. What's written in there is not as straightforward. Are we going to have something that says we have to raise to X amount per lot to be able to do $5 million worth of repairs?
Yep.
Or upgrades?
So Mr. Weck has a response.
Subdivision ordinance has, it does have, what is in the plan is basically what the subdivision ordinance has. Based on the density, there's a percentage, which either figures out the cash dedication or the land dedication. If it's a land dedication, then it's that percentage of land of the total development. For the cash dedication, we look at two things. We look at what the value of the property is, and then that percentage based off that value. And then the other part of it is the minimum $1,500 per house for the park fee, and then $300 for the trail fee. It's the higher of those two cash amounts is the cash amount that we use. Lately, it's been the $1,800 total flat fee. There have been times where it's been the cash fee based on the value of the land.
Okay, but if to pay for all this, we need to, or it was recommended raise park fees, or raise those fees. I'd like to see what we're raising it to and how it compares and the possible effect on developers, because I've read many articles where developers are getting kind of testy over high city fees such as park fees.
Yeah, Miss Amberg will come up.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and if I get this working right, and it's
Don't
not
try.
just, the recommendations don't state you're just supposed to raise your dedication fees. It's to possibly evaluate them so that they're more in line with your existing, how they're zoned. So currently, there are some new developments coming in, but they're not zoned as residential. And so
Okay.
they're falling at a much lower rate than the residential properties would be zoned, dedication amounts. So it's just so it's more fair and more in line with the actual populations that are coming to your community.
Okay, cool, thanks. But it still comes down to, I still want to know what those fees have to be raised to cover all these
I
updates.
think she just stated that wasn't the intent of it.
It may not be the intent of
But I
it,
think
but if
you're
we're
asking-
doing a plan and we're being presented with $5 million worth of updates, I'd like to know how we're gonna pay for it.
I don't believe,
That's not
correct
the
me
in-
if I'm wrong, this is just it's just a roadmap.
Correct.
And it's not something we plan to, we'll implement it slowly, but the concept is not to all of a sudden say, we need $5 million in the next 2 years or X amount of years, correct?
Correct.
I mean,
that
that
is
isn't,
not what it's for.
okay.
Yeah, no, so the
Yes.
park dedication policy is its kind of its own set-aside
Mhm.
thing. It's just stating that as new developments are coming in, that you maybe consider how you zone them or how you classify them so that they're all in line with your current dedication amounts that are set for your residential properties.
Mhm.
So you can either follow that or you can kind of do a per unit basis, but it's just keeping them all at your existing level. So
Okay.
rather than half that amount, basically. But it has nothing to do with covering the costs of, you know, the park improvements that are shown in the plan.
Okay.
Chair Spangler is here, and I'm just wondering, Chair Spangler, you've been chair for 2 years, 3 years? I can't remember now how long it's been, but what does this plan mean for the PAC committee? What does this mean, this plan? Can you just state what this will do for your committee?
Well, it actually meets a need that we've had since I've been on the council or commission, to have it spelled out for us what our priorities are, what the ages of things are, what the potential costs are, so that we can have a plan moving forward. And whether, for our consideration, I think it's just a matter of having that roadmap so that we're not drawn to something shiny or to a new idea, that we stick to the plan. You know, there's gonna be things that break that we need to address right away, but if we have an overall plan, we can help prioritize it. And that's gonna make, I mean, it's, having it all kind of shuffled together wasn't working. So this is definitely something we have been hoping for.
Okay, great, thank you. Member Schilling?
Well, my understanding was, I guess my easiest comparison, and I could be way off, but I equated this to the same thing we do with our infrastructure long-term planning, is the way I understood it. It gave us all the information, ages, dates, where things are, what we would forecast to move, to repair things, fix things up, future investment as well. So I kind of looked at it as more of our infrastructure long-term plan when I read through it. So am I understanding that correctly?
Correct.
Okay, then I have no questions. I think it was very well put together,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
And I think it gives us a great roadmap on this portion of what we do, so.
I'm in agreement with that. I know that as new developments come in and we're working towards walkability, I believe it states in there that our average age of our residents are 42.5 years old, right? So we have a much younger population than what we've had since I've lived here. So younger population, which means that these parks are very important, right? They're very important for us to have. Walkability is important because that's what everybody is going to, right? So I believe the same thing, Member Schilling, is that it's that roadmap. It's as we go into planning commission, as ADA, the economic EDA group looks into it as well. It just all fits in the bigger plan, comprehension plan, EDA park, it's just all one, so. All right, so with that, we don't need to approve anything, or?
No,
You guys-
we're not.
you guys, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more feedback or comments?
What's that?
If there's any more feedback or comments, that'd be.
Okay, are we bringing this back to approve then, or what's?
It'll come back, probably sometime in September. We'll give, kind of the final draft to Parks and they'll make a recommendation to council.
Okay, perfect, that sounds
Wonderful.
great. All right, number 16, we're rolling right along to consider resolution 22-08-70, a resolution selecting facility care for cleaning city facilities in the annual amount of $25,586.40. I have no idea who's talking on this one.
This is me, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Again, council.
Thank you.
So at the July 5th city council meeting, council authorized the release of an RFP for city facility cleaning services. Our current contract was coming to the end of the year, and so we were just looking at other options. The RFP had been posted on the city website, League of Minnesota Cities Marketplace, and staff also solicited several companies. On July 13th, staff conducted a site visit with 2 companies, took them around to the facilities, and then the RFP remained open for 3 weeks and closed on July 27th. After that date, the city reviewed 3 proposals from Facility Care, Brown Janitorial Services LLC, and the Garson Group LLC. The proposals are included in your packet. Facility Care came in as the low bid at $25,586.40 annually. They are the current provider for the city. Currently, we are paying $22,380.54 for their services. So this increase would be due to the addition of the public works trailer, which is not being cleaned currently, and then just rising inflation. So staff is recommending the selection of Facility Care for cleaning services. With that, I'll take any questions.
Mr. Sachs, are we happy with this?
I would say there was no negative things about Facility Care. We just wanted to see what else was out there.
Okay. Mr. Angeld, are you happy you're getting the trailer cleaned up?
Yes, employees will be very happy. Yeah.
Okay. All right, just checking, just to make sure. So, all right, Member Schilling.
I was gonna ask, is the PD happy? You guys are the hardest to clean up after, so.
What?
24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, 7 days a
Their
week.
carpeting
so.
always looks great, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's always good. So, all right.
I actually have no questions. I think it looks great, so.
All right, Member Onstad?
No questions.
Member Luker?
There was a pretty substantial discrepancy between the two, or between the three bids. Any idea why?
I can say Facility Care does have a local presence. I know a few of their cleaners that clean city facilities live locally. The other groups, they are based on the Twin Cities, so I don't know if they just have bigger clientele. That's the thing I can think of.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sachs, do the other groups have, I don't know, mileage charges if they're bringing their people up from the Twin Cities?
I'd have to look back in their proposals. I don't believe they did have mileage charges, though.
Okay.
All right, no other questions? So we need a motion to approve Resolution 22-08-70, a resolution selecting Facility Care for cleaning city facilities in the annual amount of $25,586.40. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, so a motion by Member Luker, a second by Member Onstad.
That works.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 17, last on our agenda, to consider an all boards meeting on August 30th, 2022 at 6 p.m. to review a draft of the comprehensive plan. We're at that point.
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Mayor,
Mr.
members of
Linwood.
council, yes, we are very excited and pleased, I think Mr. Weck too, that we're close to a draft version of our comprehensive plan update. So it's been a long time coming and a lot of work has gone into it. So I think we're, at this point, it's been sent back to WSB just for some of the insertion of charts and graphs and other pictures and content, and to kind of make it look nice, I guess, if you could say. So we thought it was appropriate that we could maybe have, we haven't had an all boards meeting for a long time. We thought it'd be appropriate time to do so and share this document and receive some input and feedback on it.
Okay, I want to say we're 3 years into this.
No.
Is it 4? 5?
We started in 2016.
Oh, okay, we should have a anniversary party. Okay, so, okay, so.
We're all ready to start updating it again.
Right, exactly. Okay, it's what, 10 years, right? Okay, from the time that we approve it?
That's gonna be my recommendation.
Thank you. All right, let's go with Member Yeager.
I don't have any problems with it. I'm just curious, since we've been doing this so long, will the final draft of it be updated for 2022?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I think what we're really looking at is the August 30th date.
Oh,
Oh,
what did I do
Yeah,
here?
so that's
Oh.
what
I
we're,
guess that works.
yeah, so does August 3rd, everybody check their calendar?
Yep, it works.
We have 5 Tuesdays in August, and we'll miss staff if we don't take advantage of that.
We should throw an extra council
Don't
meeting
let
in.
staff miss us.
I think they would.
Oh, yeah.
Take advantage.
Yeah, okay, so, it looks like all of us can attend the 30th at 6 p.m. here, or library, or?
Here, I think we're gonna,
Okay, so, I'll make a motion to approve all boards meeting on August 30th, 2022 at 6 p.m. to review the draft of the comprehensive plan and throw an anniversary party. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Member Luker, all in favor?
Aye.
I was gonna add to the motion that maybe if it's under 75, it could be here, and then if it's over 75.
we could,
Yeah,
if
okay.
council would like, we could check the library room.
Let's do that, I think that would be
It's warm in here. If we get
What
all of us in
Okay,
here,
if we need to notice it, we'll just do that the next meeting, we'll have time, so.
Okay.
So,
sorry to interrupt the
yeah,
motion.
No, but we're
we'll check with the
talking-
library.
We're talking basically 4 boards,
Right.
right? So that makes, hey, good job.
Yeah, it's, we get all of us in here, it'll get warm.
It'll get warm.
So,
Yep. Okay, so you've got that, we're good?
Got it, yep.
All right, so we're on to council reports. Let's go to Member Luger.
I attended the budget work session, the Park Advisory Commission meeting, as well as Night to Unite last night, which I thought was really well attended and really well done.
Thank you. Member Onstead?
I attended Planning Commission and Night Out last night.
All right, thank you. Member Schilling?
I have no report. Thank you for all that came and whoever's watching.
All right, Member Yeager?
Oh, I attended the budget work session, and I was at National Night Out scooping a lot of ice cream very fast because it was melting. And thank you all for coming, and thank you all for watching.
All right. I attended the Park Advisory Commission, the Planning Commission, the Budget Meeting, and National Night Out. I would like to thank Congressman Stauber for stopping. It was a long day for him. He started at 4:30 in the morning somewhere way far away and ended up with us. So thank you to Congressman Stauber. Thank you to the police and fire and to Chief Bauer. Just a great event, always is. And I do believe that Mr. Sachs and I were very happy that we did not have to partake in any of the demonstrations this year. So that was good. Yeah, I just think overall, it was just really a great event. So thanks to your staff and for being there and making it great for everybody. That's all I have. We do need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn by Member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Luger. All in favor?